On the phone, we have former state senator and former state assemblyman and congressional hopeful Sam Aanestad. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
And you're calling from Roseville, is it?
Well, I'm calling from my home in Penn Valley.
Penn Valley, yes. And you were an assemblyman in that district for some time, and then you were the senator for the district that includes our area.
Right,
state
total
senator.
of 12 years.
And you were termed out, is that correct, the term limits?
Termed out, yes, a year ago December.
Okay, and now you're hoping to take the seat that Wally Herger is vacating. A number of candidates have come forward. A few things that I was wondering. I saw on your website this morning, Sam, that you signed the No New Taxes pledge. Do you think that removes yourself from a decision-making process that others will take part in?
Well, I hope so, because I don't think there's any decision to be made there. This is the main reason that I'm running for Congress is that we have spent ourselves into a $16 trillion national debt, and we can't do that anymore. We need to stop spending, and the answer is not to increase taxes. So I signed that pledge both as an assemblyman and a senator. I'm proud to say that in 12 years, I never did vote for a tax increase, and I never will.
And where specifically do you think that cuts should be made in the federal budget?
Everywhere. I don't believe that any program anywhere is holy ground. I think that we have to look at the federal budget, much like Paul Ryan has done, prioritize those programs and those agencies that actually are vital to the mission of the United States federal government, and then get rid of the rest. For example, I'd get rid of the entire Department of Education. I don't believe there's a need or a constitutional basis for that. Same thing with housing and urban development. Those are entire departments and billions of dollars that can be saved for things that I don't believe really need to be done by the federal government.
Clark?
Water shortages will continue to be an issue as California becomes more populated and as more water is made untouchable. For ecological reasons, what's the solution?
To keep fighting. You know, I was the only senator from Northern California fighting for water interests, as you know, starting up in the Redding area and then all the way down to Sacramento. 80% of the water that is used or goes down into the Delta and is going either through the pumps or out to the ocean comes from this district. And I found myself for 12 years fighting not only Democrat senators and assemblymen who wanted it for Los Angeles and San Francisco, but I also was fighting Republican senators who wanted it for, you know, their golf courses in Palm Springs and San Diego. Area of origin and all those legal implications are absolutely worth fighting for. We have farmers whose 150-year-old water rights are at risk because of the politicians in Southern California. We just got to keep fighting it along with the Northern California Water Association, which has done a great job these last dozen years.
Well, it's easy to talk about the urban areas and their wasteful water issues. Isn't it more difficult to argue about the San Joaquin Valley farmers?
Absolutely, and the fact is that the San Joaquin farmers should have first right over the smelt or over any real environmental concerns. Times change, and yes, you'd like to keep the Delta in its most natural state, but the fact is that we were once the largest agricultural economic engine in America. And then if you drive down I-5 and you see all of those lands that have been fallowed and they are now dust and looking like Oklahoma in the 1930s, that's all man-made. That's created by Congress. And there are things that can be done to change that around to get water to those farmers so that we can get part of our economy back.
And about the economy, what role should government play in influencing the economy? I mean, and how would you? What would you do, if anything, to increase employment? Is that the federal government's role?
Their role is to get out of the way and let business thrive. And one of the reasons that business is not thriving, especially in California, especially in the North State, we used to have one of the largest resource-based economies around. Timber, mining, the fisheries off the coast, all of them shut down by environmental concerns, some of them blown so far out of proportion, like the Endangered Species Act, that we've lost now the entire economy, and all we have now is some agriculture in the Central Valley, and there's not much more. So every one of these 10 counties in District 1 are hurting economically, and most of the reasons why are man-made rules and regulations by government. And that's one of the things that I'm so excited about, is polling shows, guys, that not only are the Republicans going to keep the House of Representatives, but we're going to take the Senate this year, and maybe the White House, who knows. And if we can do either one or two out of those three, we're in a pretty good position to change some of those rules and regulations that will put our people back to work.
Aren't the fisheries suffering merely from a lack of fish?
No, they're not. The studies have shown that the fish move up and down the coast as far as their spawning grounds, and the just blanket shutdown from basically north of San Francisco all the way up to the Oregon border. If you want to go north of there, you can go fishing. And the fish are there, but it's not that they are just less in population. They happen to be in the California area now, but if we would open up the fisheries, the economy would thrive in Crescent City and up in the northern areas, and they could actually move up and down the coast. So it's not just a question of not enough fish; it's a question of just one size fits all and not allowing for where the fish are.
So the Republican Party, do you feel like they're suffering from infighting right now?
Absolutely. I mean, it's been a problem. I think it's been a problem for every party that has not been in control. What the Republicans don't understand is that the real goal here is to replace this administration next fall, and that should be our number one concern. And yet, I understand. Like, we're going to have a debate tonight up in Reading at Destiny Church, I guess, a Tea Party debate, and it shows the differences between the candidates. But the real goal in the fall, and we should be uppermost on all of our minds, is we've got to change the direction that this country is going. We are becoming a socialistic state, one that does not believe in free enterprise, and that we're getting away from the values that made this country great, and we need to focus on changing that administration and being more like-minded in what we have to say to each other.
I was looking at the website maplight.org, and it shows your primary contributors when you were a state legislator were health professionals, insurance companies, and the pharmaceutical industry. And I know that you were an oral surgeon, is that correct?
Correct, yes.
85% of your contributions came from outside your district. How can you ensure us that decisions made about health care, which decisions will be made by you in Congress if you're there, how can you ensure they won't be influenced by these connections?
Well, because I think very much alike with most other doctors and the people who have supported me in that Obamacare is an abomination. It's going to raise taxes. It's going to make workers, more than 20 million workers who have health care now through their employees, they're going to lose that insurance, and they're going to have to start paying their own premiums, and those premiums are going to rise. We've already been shown that seniors are going to get less care, especially heart patients and stroke patients, because it's so expensive. and there's going to be rationing, just like any other socialized medicine plan. And so I'm pretty like-minded with the people who have supported me in this endeavor through the years.
We've been speaking with Sam Aanestad, who's running for Congress in the 2nd District. Thanks a lot for joining us today.
I appreciate your interest.
And have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Take care.